There are three principal reasons for starting this Online Explorers Generation X project, and none of them have got anything to do with making money. Hi everyone, welcome back to the latest episode of my journey exploring the digital realm as a Generation X and starting some online businesses in my 50s. Time of recording, I'm 53, approaching my 54th birthday this December. And there's three pillars to this challenge. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll understand that there's three things I want to do. I want to explore a couple of online businesses. And at the moment, I think it's going to be Kindle Direct Publishing and some kind of drop shipping, manufacture of t-shirts and merch type print on demand project. And the third project is building this YouTube channel. I guess there's also a fourth element. And every time I upload a video to YouTube, I also create a blog post, and we can cover some of that off in another video. But this video is really about understanding what the motivation behind doing any of this is all about. And surprisingly enough, when I think about my motivations for doing this, I can think of many reasons, and monetization and the commercial aspect is one of them, but it's not the biggest and most important one. And so on this morning's dog walk, I was thinking about time actually, and time is the first aspect I want to cover here. As I said, I'm approaching my 54th birthday, and the brutal truth is I've probably got less time left on this planet than I've consumed already. And on the walk this morning, I was thinking, have I led a full and happy and engaged life? And I think so. I've got so much to be grateful for, despite all the trials and tribulations that we all go through. None of us are immune to that. I think I can look back and think, I've rinsed life for all I can. How long have I got left? I don't know. Let's say it's another 20, 25 years. I think if I can navigate as a middle-aged man that tricky period of your 70s, if I can get through Sniper Alley of the 70s, then I think, I've perhaps got another 20, 25 years left in me, hopefully a little bit more. I like to keep myself fit and healthy, dog walks, triathlons, running, swimming, you name it. I generally like outdoor life. But when you stop to think about how much time you've got left, I don't think it's a morbid curiosity with time. I think recognizing how much time we have left, and as the Stoic philosophers, which is one area of my interest, would say, you can leave life at any moment. What's important is what you do right now, or something to that effect. So this idea of memento mori, remember that you will die, is not a morbid fascination with death. It is a healthy relationship with time. And the fact that we could leave this planet and this moment at any time means that we need to really focus in on what it is we're doing with our time. And so at this time of my life, and perhaps you're the same, we get a little bit more reflective. We get a little bit more contemplative of the time that we have left. And so how I use that time going forward is really important to me. I may have mentioned previously that my wife and I were now sort of semi-empty nesters. My daughter has recently graduated from university, is looking to set up life with her partner, funnily enough, overseas. And my son, my youngest son my only son is currently in year 2 of university, but living away from home. So they come back for various weekends and whatnot. But, the fact of the matter is we are now empty nesters. And so that then gets you contemplating on, okay, so what now? So it's very much a time to be focusing on the relationship I have with my wife, which we are about to celebrate 25 years happily married. But there's another chapter here. So time is something which I'm ever more conscious of. And so this project really is about how do I make the most of that time? And making the most of that time leads on to my second point. This project is all about agency and control, particularly over the things I do with that time. Most of us spend many years in an employment environment, either corporate or some kind of employee of others. We go to work, we do an honest day's work, and we earn a living and we raise a family, and hopefully we can afford to go on holidays and things like this. but ultimately it's in the service of others. And whilst I've worked for myself for many years now, and I've probably had, if I look back at my professional career, as much time in employment as I have working for myself, I can safely say for me personally, my value set and what I really value in life is this agency over my own time. And exploring how I can leverage that time through technology, how I can think about earning money or earning the time to do what I want through online businesses gives me that degree of agency and control, which I really do value. So time and agency are very much close allies. It's having the agency over that time, but also being able to be in the driving seat. And I think embracing technology as a Gen Xer, I think trying to fathom out how to make money or how to create the money to buy more time, because there's one thing which we never get more of, that is time. We can always go and earn more money. We can figure out ways of buying more time, but I'd like to spend money to create time rather than spending time to create money. And I think technology and online business is a way of doing that. The third element of this entire project is curiosity and fulfillment. I think I'm a creator at heart. I don't have that much experience with creating through technology. I've built one or two websites. I tend to geek out on that kind of thing, but it's more the front end thing. I couldn't tell you a string of code or a line of code. So I'm not a programmer or anything else, but I do like the idea of creating something. And I think perhaps looking back, I've often enjoyed the creative process, but I've never really followed through on that process to continue it. So I like new things. I like new challenges, but I like moving on to new challenges. So this project is a way of harnessing that creative itch I've got, but also trying to stay in the game a little bit longer. Because of course, when you look at people that are successful online or YouTube, and you see how many follower count they've got, subscribers, or how much they say they're earning, that's because they've been in the game a long time. And so, there's that theme again. I think for this project to be successful, I've got to think about how I spend that time, but I've also got to put time into this as well, because it's not just chuck up a YouTube channel, chuck up a website and riches will flow. Although the influencers will tell you that's the case, but don't listen to them. So this has multiple angles to it. And notice we've talked about time. I've talked about agency. I've talked about creativity. What I haven't talked about is financial targets. And don't get me wrong, I want to make money from this, even if it's just to kind of wipe its face, if you like, and keep me able to afford some of the apps and things I'm going to have to purchase. But the money is secondary, not because money is of secondary importance. I think if I get the time, agency and creativity piece right and come at this with authenticity, I think I have a chance of creating that financial fourth element, if you like. But there's also very early on in this process, I'm learning some valuable lessons. I think the first thing to say is don't overthink it. I think coming at this project as a Gen X, seeing how perhaps the millennials or the younger generation are sort of digitally native and they're getting on with this and they're really comfortable with tech, I think we can often put pressure on ourselves and think that we have to be perfect at everything or we have to know everything before launching into the digital space. We don't. Don't overthink it. Just get on with putting up your first website or creating your YouTube channel or making your first design for a t-shirt or whatever it might be. Just get on and start. I think as a generation, we're resourceful enough to know that actually, we can solve a problem. And if we come up against a brick wall or some kind of impediment, we'll just figure it out. That's what Gen Xers do, right? They just figure stuff out. So don't overthink it. Get going. And then you can start to finesse as you learn. So I'm learning as we go along. I'm hoping that the sort of demonstration of my learning or the evidence of my learning is that these videos get better and better and more engaging. And that's because I'm just learning by doing. And I think that's as Gen Xers, I think we're pretty good at doing that stuff. So don't forget, that's one of our superpowers. You don't need permission. Here's my second piece of learning. Quite frankly, nobody cares that I've created a YouTube channel. Nobody cares that I'm thinking of getting into Kindle publishing. Everyone just cares about what they're doing. So I don't need permission to get on and do this stuff. You don't need permission to get on and do this stuff. You just need to get started. So don't overthink about it. Don't procrastinate about it. And you don't need permission to. You don't need anyone's permission. And I think as we get older, my wife refers to being in your 50s as the, excuse my language, the fuck it 50s. You don't, fuck you. I don't need your permission to get going. I can just do it myself. Thank you very much. So lean into your F-it 50s. And I promise you, it could be really quite liberating. And then finally, what's the worst that could happen? As I say, creating these videos, you can be really quite self-conscious about doing it. But that's assuming that loads of people are watching them. There's probably 0 people watching them. So just get on it and do it. The worst that can happen is you don't sell any t-shirts, you don't sell any mugs, you don't get any subscribers to your YouTube channel. Your blogger gets some malware on it, but you're still here, you're still living, you're still breathing, you're still smiling. So that there's nothing to lose about just embracing this time of our life and thinking, do you know what? I've got a little bit of time left. I don't have as much time as I've spent already. How do I want to spend that time? And for me, it's about time, agency, and creative fulfillment. And if I get those 3 things right, then hopefully the financial aspect will follow. So if you like this video and it resonates with you, please consider hitting like, subscribe to the channel to get notified when more of these videos drop, and just sort of drop your thoughts down in the comments. If you're a Gen Xer, what's your approach to life? What's your project, and how are you looking at the time that we've got left? And as Gen Xers, we know how to have a good time, so we're going to spend it wisely. But spend it doing what you love doing. And remember, don't overthink it. Just get on with it.